The circle's going over and over.
Hello. Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. We're going to be doing Agents Behaving Badly, part 2. Lots to talk about this morning. Stay tuned, guys.
It was so popular last time. Stay tuned.
It was.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good
Hey.
morning, guys. Good morning.
Hey.
Let's get cracking, Mark. We've got so much to talk about. I've got a whole list of stuff that I literally wrote in about 5 seconds. Um,
Oh,
agents behaving badly. Mark, hopefully you're not one of those in a position somewhere in Sydney where we can't actually hear properly.
nah.
No, all good. Okay, wonderful. Um, how are you?
Good, thanks, Lisa. It's nice to see you today, Lisa.
Nice to see you too. You don't have a great connection there. It's not, you're sounding like you're a little bit underwater. So, guys, just let us know if you can't hear and we might get Mark to move somewhere else.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to it, guys. As I said, I've got a big long list. Hey, we're going to be talking this morning about agents behaving badly. We already did a segment on this, and I reckon it was one of our most popular segments we've ever done over the years. But we're going to do part 2. And if I can be honest with you, the reason that this has spurred us on this morning is I saw a post from a fellow real estate agent. She's actually a very, very good friend of mine. Many of you will know her, Delene Lewis. She appeared on
Hey.
Lux Listings. Hey guys, can you just let us know whether or not you're having trouble hearing us? Because I've got an enormous amount of feedback, enormous amount. So just let us know if you're having any trouble hearing us this morning. If you could just write it into the comments, that'd be awesome. But I saw a post this morning from Delene. She has just cracked another record. She's a Eastern Suburbs real estate agent here in Sydney. Also appeared on Lux Listings. Many of you will know her from there. But I saw a comment on one of her sold properties, Mark, from yesterday, saying that other agents are actually claiming that they have sold those properties that she has sold, and she actually called them out. So I'm not gonna name it, but if you do want to know, jump onto Delene's social media. But she actually did name them, named and shamed, big agents as well.
Well,
So
it's pretty simple who sold the property. It's on the contract of sale. So whoever's on the contract, on the top of the contract is marked as agent on the property that's sold. That's who sold it. So it's a pretty easy claim to substantiate that you sold it. And
correct,
for two people to say that is weird. There's only
correct.
one agent on the top of the contract normally.
Yeah, but if you can be bothered to do that digging around, and when you've got real estate agents that are doing their prospecting calls, going, oh yeah, we sold that property. That was her listing, but we sold that property. I had that happen. I actually
You have happened.
I actually did have that happen. So beautiful big property I sold in Manly that cracked the record there, 21.5 million per square metre, cracked the record in Manly for any property ever sold. I had lots of agents going, oh, that was her listing, but it was our buyer. And I was like, what? Does this really happen in the industry? So I ended
Well,
up hanging
technically
that
now there's
massive banner off the
yeah,
property.
and technically now I think buyers agents are going to start saying they sold it
Yeah, that's right.
because I
I mean,
sold it to the buyer, she sold it for the vendor. It's going to happen.
yeah, I honestly just can't even believe that that is a thing, but clearly it is. And there you go. Delene called that out this morning. I saw it this morning, but she called it out yesterday on a big sale that she had of a property in Bellevue Hill in the eastern suburbs. Obviously,
And
again,
Mark,
this is just all hearsay. Don't know. It was a record for the streets. It must have been a fabulous result.
wow.
But that's the first one I want to mention this morning. Agents behaving badly, claiming other people's sales. No, no, no. Very, it's a shocker. That's actually just so bad. And you know what? It says a lot about the listing agent because obviously it means the result was phenomenal. Um, but a great way to get around that, guys, is just some serious marketing. You know, I love DLs. I love wrapping a signboard, wrapping a sold, sticker on my signboards saying we sold it and the amount of days it took to sell. I love doing all of that stuff. Social media, get in front of the property, video it, tell the world about your wonderful result for the people, not for
But
yourself, for the people.
no. But at least, all in all, the industry is pretty bloody good, I reckon. With fair
Yeah.
trading up everyone's bum, it's I think, a very good, a very clean industry. But agents behaving badly. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of banter. It does happen. What's the worst example you've seen of agents behaving badly? What's the most memorable thing that you went, nah, that's shit?
There's a lot of so and I agree with you, Mark. I think, for the vast majority, the real estate
Really
guys
good.
understand real
Really good.
estate is it's a really hard, relentless industry. It
Yeah.
really is. You're on 24/7.
Yeah.
Most of the deals that we do happen outside of hours or on weekends. Remember, Saturday's our biggest day. So often, we're not getting home until late on Saturday night. Sundays, we're still doing deals. For the most part, agents are phenomenal. We have, we deal with a lot of agents. We have lots of agents that are friends. Most agents are great, hardworking, honest real estate agents, really. It's the truth. And you're right. We are just having a little bit of fun this morning. Probably one of the biggest things, Mark, and there is a serial offender here, and we're not definitely not going to be calling out names, guys. But there's a particular agency that notoriously puts very low guides on property.
I reckon that's probably the worst thing the industry is doing. Agents are doing at the moment.
Yeah.
I think it's called false, misleading, and deceptive conduct. It's price baiting by doing that. That's really breaking people's hearts.
And I mean, and then there's the layer on top of that called underquoting as well, which we won't get
Yeah.
into. We're not going to get into underquoting, but and I know that there was a big thing on Four Corners about 6 months ago about underquoting. I had very divided opinions on that particular segment, but again, we're not about that. I think if we are going to talk legislation and things like that, we'll get some really good
Mhm.
experts on to talk about that. Actually, Lisa Jemison's a great one to get on. She's a phenomenal real estate lawyer, one of the best in the country. But that one really irks me, Mark, where agents get these very low guides on. I have to say, I just saw over the last couple of days a two-bedroom apartment that was sold in DY for $890,000. Non-beachside, nice apartment, sold by an agent that knows the area really, really well. The guide was very different. And I'm just looking at that going, really? 890,000, your guide was at least 100,000 apart from that. And here's a real estate agent who knows that market intricately in DY. And I'm
Price
looking at that
baiting.
going,
So
yeah,
what's acceptable? So if that's the biggest heartbreaking thing that people do, what's the acceptable thing for price baiting? Within 5-10%?
yes, definitely. And also, Mark, understand that as real estate agents, if we receive offers and if the market is telling us otherwise, then we need to readjust our price. We
Yep.
must readjust our price because if you've got a guide on an apartment, let's use an apartment as an example of $790,000, and you're having 20 buyers coming through all of your open homes and you're receiving multiple offers, you must amend that price guide.
Yeah.
You must. And there's, as I said, there are some repeat offenders in the industry. I know we've got them in our area. And then they report, oh, we had 100 people coming through open homes and we had this many offers and the property sold in this many days. It's like, yeah, no wonder because your price guide was absolutely off.
Price baiting. And then you got a naughty agent behind you on the wall lease.
I love that.
One James Bond, bad man, bad
Bad man.
man,
The
bad
irony of
man,
it. That's so
bad.
funny. Okay,
Yeah.
next on my list. So again, that price baiting, and then they're reporting big group numbers and we sold it for this much above the guide. Yeah, because your guide was totally inaccurate to begin with. And you know what? All that does is upset buyers, upset agents. It just makes it, you're just upsetting people along the way. You really are.
Yeah.
And you're ruining it for all the good ones in the industry, and you're breaking hearts with all of those buyers. True story, guys. I see it happen often. um Mark, overpricing to get a listing.
Cool.
Yes, what are your thoughts?
Well, that's price baiting again, but it's the opposite way. So you're going high with the seller and you're going low with the buyer. Price baiting again. No good.
Overpricing to get a listing. So I always
No
say,
good.
like, I was at a listing presentation the other day, and the vendor said, I have met with two other agents. And I said, that's great. Like, I would be doing that as well. And I said to him, I would hope all of our pricing should have come in at a very similar level because we all work with the same data. And he said, actually, no, one of them was much higher. And I said to him, I'd love to see some of those comparables, if that's okay. I'd love to just see what other comparables that agent was using, just to make sure we're all comparing apples for apples.
And
Because
then,
sellers don't know. Sellers list and sell property maybe once or twice in their life. They just don't know. And
yeah.
sometimes they can fall into that trap.
Yeah, and I think choosing an agent based on how they price you, well, like price bait, going high on a price, this is dumb because the buyers are putting the price on the property. But the price baiting, for me, I would say the thing I see, the thing when my toes curl up the most is price baiting. Again, with sellers, agents going
Yeah,
too high; with buyers, agents going too low. It's false, misleading, deceptive conduct, and it breaks hearts. So I
it
think,
does.
I think sometimes there could be genuine mistakes by agents where they get the price wrong. But I think sometimes when there's a clear intention that they know they're they're wrong, they're not even they're 20% out. You know, it's bad.
I agree. And also, it's about being honest with your vendor. I've actually got a property on at the moment, and I've got a property on at the moment, and when I was sitting in front of her with all of the comparable sales, it all looked like it should have been price X. But the buyers have come through now, and they're telling me something very, very different. Consistently low open home numbers. The buyers are coming through, and as I mentioned, they're telling me something totally different. But that information that I'm getting from the buyers, from the market, I am relaying that to my vendor, and I'm saying, I just need to let you know this is what the market is saying. And this particular vendor is saying that's the price that I need. And again, it's just about saying, and I had this conversation with my vendor yesterday saying, look, you've got two options. We either meet the market on where the market sees value in your property, or you just hold your property and wait for that market to come up, and I'll let you know when that happens. Um, and then the other flip side, Mark, is when you've got, at the luxury end, you've got some of these spectacular properties, and vendors are saying, we're okay to hold out. We're going to wait. We're
Yeah.
confident that we are going to get there. And I believe in those properties. I truly do. I've got one on at the moment, and I'm saying, you know what? It's such a magnificent property. I really believe that this is the next booming suburb, and I honestly do believe that we're going to get there. It is a matter of having these open, honest conversations. But as an agent, when you're doing it deliberately, as you said, Mark, to price bait, big, massive red
Bad.
cross.
Bad.
Massive. Yep.
Least before we go, anything else? I'm just a bit short on battery.
Oh my God, I can't believe it, Mark. You did the thing that I thought would never happen. Okay, I just want to talk about photos is another one. Baiting people with incredible photos on a property. And then the buyers get there and they're like, wait, what? This looked absolutely nothing like the property. We do see it happen all the time. Yes, we do use virtual furniture, guys. We do use virtual furniture. We're not selling the furniture. I'm talking about when you're actually taking a photo of a property only to find that there's like a water tower in the backyard or something like that.
Well, at least we're not
Um,
going to be able to get through that list. I'm going to have to call it.
So naughty. Agents behaving badly. There he
That's
is.
bad. That's bad for 15 minutes. Come on.
See you guys. That's the show. To be
Anything
continued.
else you wanna conclude on for your Friday frenzy?
Part 3 incoming. Agents behaving badly. I've got a list. Guys, let us know if there's anything there that you want to know about as well. We can address it. And I might see
Topic.
if I can get Delene onto part 3.
Ooh, that'd be a juicy one.
Yeah,
Mate, Delaney Lewis, when you are together on a live, that's dangerous.
I'll see if we can get her on.
That's dangerous. All right, you take care.
See you
See ya.
guys. Take
Bye bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.